Admiral Han stood at the command bridge of the Crown of Stars, his hands clasped behind his back. The massive warship, pride of the Galactic Empire's fleet, glided silently through space. Its golden hull sparkled under the distant starlight, stretching over 3 kilometers from bow to stern. The ship carried enough firepower to reduce a planet's surface to ash. "Admiral, we are approaching the Sol system," Commander Lee reported, his voice steady but showing hints of concern. "Our long-range scans show unusual levels of radioactivity from the third planet." Han didn't turn around. His eyes remained fixed on the main view screen, watching as the distant yellow star grew larger. "Just their primitive communication systems, Commander. Nothing worth our attention." The Crown of Stars had served as the flagship for 300 successful planetary conquests. Each victory added another golden stripe to the Admiral's uniform sleeve. Earth would be stripe number 301. "Sir," Lee continued, "I've been studying their broadcasts. These humans, they're different from other species we've encountered. Their technology is advancing at an unusual rate." Han finally turned, his face showing a slight smile. "Commander, your caution does you credit, but remember, we carry 10,000 of the Empire's finest troops. Our weapons can shatter continents. Our shields have never failed." He walked to the tactical display, where a hologram of Earth spun slowly. "Look at them. They've barely reached their moon. They still burn fossil fuels. Their cities would crumble under a single blast from our weakest guns." Around them, the bridge crew worked at their stations. Each officer wore the black and gold uniform of the Imperial fleet, each one chosen from the finest military academies in the Empire. They were the elite of the elite, serving on the most powerful warship ever built. "Admiral," a young officer called out, "we're picking up what appears to be a small base on their moon. Should we alter course to avoid detection?" Han laughed. The sound echoed across the bridge, making several officers glance up from their stations. "Why should we hide? Let them see us. Let them understand the futility of resistance." He walked back to the command chair and sat down. "The Empire has claimed this sector, and Earth will submit or burn. It's that simple." Commander Lee studied the tactical display more closely. Something about the humans' orbital patterns seemed odd to him. Their satellites didn't move like primitive communications equipment should, but he kept his thoughts to himself. The Admiral had made his position clear. "Weapon systems are primed, Admiral," the tactical officer reported. "All troops are ready for planetary deployment. The landing craft are fueled and waiting your command." Han nodded with satisfaction. "Excellent. Send the standard Imperial Declaration of Conquest on all frequencies. Give them 1 hour to surrender unconditionally." He turned to Commander Lee. "See, this will be like all the others. They'll either give up immediately or try to fight with their primitive weapons before surrendering anyway." The message went out, broadcasting the Empire's demands in every human language their computers had decoded. The bridge fell silent as they waited for Earth's response. Minutes ticked by. The Crown of Stars moved closer to the Earth-Moon system, its massive engines pushing it through space with graceful power. The ship's sensors swept the area constantly, looking for any sign of defensive preparations. "Sir," Lee spoke up again, "the moon base is transmitting a response." "Put it through," Han ordered, expecting to hear pleas for mercy. Instead, a calm voice spoke in perfect Imperial standard. "This is Captain Kim of Luna Base 1. We acknowledge your presence, Crown of Stars, and request peaceful dialogue, as per Section 7 of the Galactic Cooperation Treaty." The bridge went completely silent. Han's smile vanished. How did these primitives know the ship's name? How did they know Imperial Standard? And the Galactic Cooperation Treaty? "Sir," Lee waited for orders, his earlier concerns now seeming much more relevant. Han's face hardened. No dialogue. No treaty. They dared to pretend they're our equals. He stood up, his voice rising with anger. "Prepare a demonstration strike. Target their moon base. Show them what happens to primitives who don't know their place." As the Crown of Stars turned its weapons toward Luna Base, none of its crew noticed the small distortions in space around them, distortions that marked the positions of Earth's cloaked defense fleet. The Crown of Stars turned its massive weapons toward Luna Base. The huge gun barrels glowed with building energy, each capable of destroying a small city. Admiral Han watched with cold satisfaction as the targeting computers locked onto the human base. Final warning, Crown of Stars. Captain Kim's voice came again through the speakers. Your actions violate multiple peace treaties. Please stand down. Silence that channel, Han ordered. Fire when ready. Commander Lee stepped forward. Sir, shouldn't we at least hear them out? They seem to know more than they should. Are you questioning my orders, Commander? Han's voice was sharp as a knife. No, sir, just suggesting caution. The tactical officer's fingers moved over his control panel. Target locked. Firing in 10 seconds. On Luna Base, Captain Kim watched the Imperial warship's movements on his screens. He sighed and pressed a button on his desk. They never listen. General Park, you have command. Deep beneath the moon's surface, in a chamber that didn't exist in any Imperial record, General Park nodded to his staff. Begin defense protocol. And someone get those civilians to safety. The first blast from the Crown of Stars hit Luna Base dead center. The explosion lit up the moon's surface like a second sun. Admiral Han smiled as he watched the blast wave spread across the lunar surface. Direct hit, the tactical officer reported. But he frowned at his screens. But what? Han demanded. No debris field, sir. And our sensors, they're having trouble scanning through the dust cloud. Commander Lee leaned over the sensor station. Sir, these readings don't make sense. The energy from our blast, it's being absorbed somehow. Before Han could respond, the dust cleared. Luna Base still stood, completely untouched. A faint blue shield flickered around it. Impossible. Han slammed his fist on his chair's armrest. Hit them again. Full power. The Crown of Stars fired again. And again, each shot powerful enough to crack a planet's crust. Each shot splashing harmlessly against the blue shield. Sir, Lee's voice was urgent now. We're detecting power signatures, all around us. There, suddenly, space itself seemed to tear open. Ships appeared everywhere, dropping their cloaking shields. Earth ships. Hundreds of them. They were smaller than the Crown of Stars, but their designs were like nothing the Empire had ever seen. Battle stations, Han shouted. Launch fighters. Raise all shields. But the Earth ships didn't fire. Instead, a new voice came over their communications. This is General Park of the Earth Defense Force. Your unprovoked attack on Luna Base has been recorded. You have two choices. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded, or face the consequences. Han laughed, but there was a hint of nervousness in it now. You dare threaten the Crown of Stars. This ship has conquered 300 worlds. And this will be its last attempt, General Park replied calmly. Final warning. Commander Lee studied the tactical display with growing horror. The Earth ships had surrounded them completely. Their formation was perfect, professional. These were not the actions of primitives. Sir, Lee whispered to Han, those ships, their power readings are off the scale. And their design. I've never seen anything like it. They're bluffing, Han insisted. No primitive world could match Imperial technology. All ships, open fire. Show these humans the power of the Empire. The Crown of Stars fired all its weapons at once, filling space with deadly energy beams. But something strange happened. Just before the beams hit the Earth ships, they seemed to bend away, as if space itself was redirecting them. What just happened? Han demanded. Report. They have some kind of gravity manipulation technology, Lee said, his voice filled with awe. Sir, we need to. He never finished his sentence. A single beam of light shot out from Luna Base, barely visible to the human eye. Where it touched the crown of stars' shields, they simply disappeared. The mighty Imperial warship hung in space, suddenly defenseless. And in that moment, Admiral Han finally began to understand just how badly he had underestimated Earth. General Park's voice came one last time. Perhaps now you're ready to talk. The crown of stars floated powerless in space, surrounded by Earth's defense fleet. Inside the Imperial warship, red emergency lights flashed as crews rushed to restore their shields. How? Admiral Han kept repeating. How is this possible? Commander Lee watched the sensor readings with growing respect for the humans. Sir, their technology. It's far beyond what our reports suggested. They've been hiding their true capabilities. In his command center beneath Luna Base, General Park met with his officers. The room was carved from moon rock, its walls covered with glowing screens showing every detail of the battle zone. Captain Kim, excellent work drawing their fire, Park said. Commander Song, is your boarding team ready? Song nodded, checking her tactical gear. Her Space Marines wore powered armor that made Imperial combat suits look like toys. Ready and waiting. Sir, but their ship is huge. Taking it will be difficult. Then let's make it easier. Park turned to his communications officer. Open a channel to all decks of the Crown of Stars. Let them hear what their admiral has been hiding from them. Aboard the Imperial warship, every screen and speaker suddenly came to life. The face of General Park appeared everywhere, his expression calm but firm. Crew of the Crown of Stars, this is General Park of Earth. Your admiral attacked us without cause. He ignored our warnings. He refused peaceful contact. Park paused. But we are not like him. Any crew member who surrenders will be treated well, according to Galactic law. You have 10 minutes to decide. Han's face turned red with rage. Override those signals. Don't listen to these primitive lies. But Commander Lee had seen enough. He looked at the other bridge officers, seeing the same realization in their eyes. These humans were not primitives. They had stripped away the crown's shields like they were paper. Their ships moved with impossible grace, and now they were offering mercy. Sir, Lee said quietly, we should consider their offer. The crew's lives. Traitor. Han pulled out his personal weapon, pointing it at Lee. I'll shoot anyone who surrenders. The bridge fell silent. Then a young officer spoke up. But sir, they've already beaten us. Our shields are gone. Our weapons can't touch them. Why sacrifice more lives? Han fired his weapon. The energy bolt flew straight at the young officer's chest and stopped in midair, trapped in a bubble of bent space. I can't let you do that, Admiral. Commander Lee's voice was sad but firm. Two security officers moved to stand beside him. More crew members stepped forward, facing their admiral. On his command screen, General Park watched the scene unfold. Commander Song, their crew is turning against the admiral. Move in now, but keep casualties to 0. Captain Kim, have medical teams standing by. Song's boarding ships launched from Luna Base, their hulls glowing with the same blue shields that had stopped the Imperial attack. Inside, Earth Marines checked their weapons, set to stun only. The Crown of Stars crew watched through their windows as the boarding ships approached. Many had already dropped their weapons, ready to surrender. Others barricaded themselves in the ship's vital areas, still loyal to Han. This is Commander Lee to all crew. Lee's voice echoed through the ship. The Admiral is relieved of command. I order all personnel to stand down. Do not resist the Earth forces. In the following minutes, Song's Marines entered the Imperial warship. They moved deck by deck, securing areas without firing a shot. Most crew members surrendered immediately, some even helping the Marines find the die-hard Imperial loyalists. Admiral Han sat in his command chair, watching his empire of fear collapse around him. You'll all regret this, he muttered, when the Empire learns of this. The Empire will learn many things today, Lee replied, now standing with Earth Marines beside him. About Earth, about humanity, and about how wrong we were to underestimate them. General Park smiled as the reports came in. The mighty crown of stars, terror of 300 worlds, had fallen to Earth in less than an hour, and they hadn't lost a single life taking it. Captain Kim, Park said, "Prepare our message for the Galactic Empire. I think it's time they learned who they're really dealing with." Commander Song walked through the captured halls of the Crown of Stars, her footsteps echoing on the metal floors. Earth Marines and surrendered Imperial crew members worked together to keep the massive ship stable. The ship's golden walls, once a symbol of Imperial power, now seemed less impressive under Earth's control. In what used to be Admiral Han's private command room, General Park met with Commander Lee. The room's large windows showed Earth's defense fleet surrounding the Imperial warship. "Tell me, Commander," Park said, sitting in Han's chair, "why did the Empire think we would be such an easy target?" Lee looked down at his hands. "Our scouts reported only primitive technology. Radio signals, chemical rockets, nothing that could threaten an Imperial warship." He paused. "Now I understand. You wanted us to see that." Park smiled. "For 50 years, Earth has hidden its true power. We showed the galaxy what we wanted them to see. Old satellites, simple space stations, but beneath the surface, a hologram appeared above the desk, showing Earth's real defense network." Lee's eyes widened as he saw the scale of it. Hidden bases on Mars, stealth shipyards inside asteroids, quantum shield generators that could protect the whole solar system. "Impossible," Lee whispered. "Your quantum shields alone. We thought that technology was hundreds of years away." "Earth learned long ago that looking weak can be an advantage," Park explained. "While the Empire conquered other worlds, we built in secret, prepared, waited." On the bridge, Captain Kim worked with Imperial engineers to study the Crown's systems. "Your weapons are impressive," she told them, "but your targeting systems are too simple. That's why you couldn't hit our ships." One of the Imperial engineers, looking at Earth's gravity control technology, shook his head in wonder. "We never thought to bend space itself to move our ships. All our research was about brute force, bigger engines, stronger weapons." Meanwhile, in a secure holding cell, Admiral Han watched on a screen as Earth engineers took apart his mighty ship's engines. His face showed pure anger as they easily understood and improved upon Imperial technology. "Your Empire's biggest mistake," Song told him through the cell speaker, "was thinking that any species that doesn't show off its power must be weak." Han turned away from the screen. "The Empire will come for you. Thousands of ships. Millions of troops." Song laughed. "Let them come. Now that we don't have to hide anymore, you'll see what Earth can really do." In the ship's massive engine room, Earth technicians installed their own quantum cores. The Imperial engineers watched in amazement as the new engines powered up, running more efficiently than ever before. "Your technology," one Imperial tech said to his Earth counterpart, "it's like you took a completely different path than we did. We went for size and power, but we focused on understanding the basic laws of physics," the Earth tech replied. "Found the shortcuts your Empire missed." Back in the command room, Park showed Lee more of Earth's achievements. Ships that could hide in plain sight, weapons that could shut down Imperial shields without destroying them, computers that made Imperial systems look ancient. "We know the Empire thinks bigger means better," Park said. "That's why we made our ships smaller, faster, smarter. Quality over quantity." Lee nodded slowly. "And now the Empire will have to face the truth about Earth." He looked out at the fleet of Earth ships, their designs elegant and deadly. "We thought we were the masters of space. But all this time," Park finished, "humanity was just waiting to show the galaxy that size and power aren't everything. Brain beats brawn, Commander. Your Empire just learned that lesson the hard way." Through the window, Earth's sun rose over the lunar horizon, its light reflecting off the quantum shields of humanity's hidden fleet. The Empire's greatest warship had become humanity's greatest prize, and the galaxy would never be the same. Admiral Han paced in his cell, like a caged animal. Through the clear wall, he could see Earth Marines guarding him, their advanced armor making his own troops' equipment look like children's toys. His face twisted with rage every time he heard the sound of Earth engineers working on his ship. "Admiral," Commander Lee said from outside the cell, "the Earth leaders want to speak with you. Will you talk to them willingly?" Han spat on the floor. "I have nothing to say to primitives who got lucky." Lee sighed and looked at Captain Kim, who stood beside him. "He still doesn't understand, does he?" "Come with me," Kim said. "Let me show you both something." The guards moved Han from his cell, keeping him secured as they walked through his own ship. But now, the crown of stars looked different. Earth engineers had already removed panels, upgraded systems, and improved everything they touched. They entered a large room that Han had never seen before. "What is this?" he demanded. "This room wasn't on the ship's plans." "We built it," Kim explained. "In 6 hours." She waved her hand, and the room filled with holograms. "This is what your sensors couldn't see when you first arrived." Han's eyes widened. The holograms showed massive shipyards hidden inside asteroids, underground cities on Mars, bases beneath Earth's oceans, satellites that could bend light itself to hide entire fleets. "Impossible," Han whispered. "Your people were burning coal just a century ago." "Yes," Lee said. "That's what we wanted everyone to think. But look closer." The holograms zoomed in, showing details of Earth's technology. Engines that didn't push against space, but pulled it instead. Shields that didn't just block attacks, but turned them into power. Weapons that could shut down other ships without destroying them. "Your empire builds bigger ships, bigger guns," Kim explained. "But size isn't everything. While you were conquering worlds with brute force, we were learning the real secrets of the universe." In another part of the ship, General Park watched as Earth technicians taught Imperial engineers about quantum mechanics. Many of the Imperial crew had asked to learn from Earth, amazed by humanity's different approach to science. "Your shield technology," one Imperial engineer said, "it's not just more advanced. It's like you found a completely different way to do everything." Park nodded. "Because we had to. Earth was always too small, too crowded to build huge ships like yours. So we learned to build smart instead of big." Back in the hologram room, Han watched as Kim showed more of Earth's secrets. His face turned pale when he saw how many ships Earth really had. Hundreds of small, deadly vessels that could hide anywhere, each one more advanced than his proud crown of stars. "The Empire," Han started, then stopped. "Yes?" Lee asked. "The Empire will send more ships when they learn of this," Han said, but his voice lacked its usual confidence. Kim laughed softly. "You still don't understand. We let you find us. We let you attack. We wanted the Empire to learn about Earth, but only when we were ready. By capturing our greatest warship, Lee realized Earth can now study all Imperial technology and improve it." Han's legs felt weak as the truth finally hit him. His mighty empire, thinking itself the master of space, had walked right into humanity's trap. Every move they had made was exactly what Earth had wanted. "One last thing," Kim said, touching a control panel. A new hologram appeared, showing Earth ships already leaving the solar system. "While we kept you busy here, our fleets launched. The Empire won't be attacking Earth." "Why not?" Han asked, his voice barely a whisper. "Because we're taking the fight to them first," Kim replied. "Earth is done hiding." Through the ship's windows, more Earth ships appeared, dropping their cloaking shields, each one small, elegant, and more powerful than anything the Empire had ever built. The age of Imperial dominance was over. The time of humanity had begun. Warning alarms filled the crown of stars with their sharp sound. Red lights flashed in every corridor. Earth engineers and Imperial crew members ran through the halls, their footsteps echoing off the metal floors. "Report," General Park demanded, standing in the ship's main control room. "What's happening?" An Earth engineer looked up from her screens, her face worried. "Sir, we found a serious problem in the ship's main reactor, the Imperial design. It has a fatal flaw." Commander Lee rushed to look at the readings. His face turned pale. "No, it can't be. The Crown's reactor design is the pride of Imperial engineering. A pride that could kill us all," the engineer said. She pointed to a diagram of the reactor. "See this? The Empire tried to make it too powerful. They pushed the design too far. And now..." In his cell, Admiral Han smiled as he heard the alarms. "Finally, the ship's automatic defense system must be activating. It will destroy the reactor rather than let the ship fall into enemy hands." Captain Kim burst into the cell area. "Did you know about this?" she demanded. "Did you know the reactor could go critical?" Han's smile grew wider. "The Crown of Stars will never be your prize. When the reactor explodes, it will take half your fleet with it." General Park's voice came through the ship's speakers. "All non-essential personnel, evacuate immediately. Earth ships, move to safe distance. Engineering teams, we need options." The massive ship shuddered as its reactor core grew more unstable. Earth Marines helped Imperial crew members reach escape pods. In the engine room, engineers from both sides worked together, trying to prevent disaster. "The design makes no sense," an Earth technician said, looking at the reactor plans. "They added power but removed safety systems. It's like they wanted it to be dangerous." Commander Lee nodded sadly. "The Empire values power over safety, strength over wisdom. We never thought about what would happen if the reactor was pushed too far." In the control room, Park watched as evacuees streamed off the ship. But many Earth engineers stayed behind, still trying to save the mighty vessel. "Sir," Kim reported, "Admiral Han claims this is an automatic defense system. The reactor will explode rather than let the ship be captured. Can we shut it down?" Park asked. The lead engineer shook her head. "Not with Imperial technology. Their override codes aren't working. But..." She looked at her Earth colleagues. "We might have another way." "Explain." "Our quantum technology. We could use it to contain the reactor's energy. Redirect it. But we'd need to modify the ship's systems quickly." Park looked at the reactor readings. They had less than an hour before explosion. "Do it. Whatever you need, you have it. Lee, Kim, help them." The next 40 minutes were a blur of activity. Earth engineers installed quantum containment fields throughout the ship. Imperial crew members who stayed behind provided vital information about the ship's systems. Everyone worked together, racing against time. Han watched from his cell as Earth's technology was connected to Imperial systems. His smile faded as he realized they might actually succeed. "Quantum containment fields ready," the engineering team reported. "Beginning power redirect. Now." The ship hummed with new energy as Earth's technology took control of the Imperial reactor. The warning alarms slowly fell silent. The red emergency lights faded. "Reactor stabilizing," Kim announced. "Power levels returning to normal." In the engine room, Earth and Imperial engineers cheered together. They had done it. The Crown of Stars would survive. Park turned to Lee. "Your empire built this ship to be powerful but dangerous. We just showed you a better way." Lee looked at the readings from the new quantum containment system. "Yes, you did. The Empire thought bigger was always better. But Earth, you proved that smarter is what really matters." Through the ship's windows, they could see the Earth fleet returning to normal positions. The Crown of Stars, once a symbol of Imperial might, now stood as proof of humanity's superior approach to technology, and its survival sent a clear message to the Empire. Earth could solve problems that Imperial science couldn't even understand. Intelligence Officer Yoon sat across from Admiral Han in a bright, comfortable room. This wasn't a prison cell anymore, but a meeting room on Luna Base. 2 cups of steaming tea sat on the table between them. "Would you like some tea, Admiral?" Yoon asked politely. "It's from Earth, a drink we've enjoyed for thousands of years." Han stared at the cup. His proud uniform was wrinkled now, his shoulders slumped. The reactor crisis had destroyed his last hope of victory. "Why are you being so nice to me? I tried to destroy your base." "Because that's not how Earth does things," Yoon replied, sipping his tea. "We believe in learning from our enemies, not destroying them." Meanwhile, in the Crown of Stars engine room, Earth engineers worked with Imperial technicians to install more quantum technology. Commander Lee watched in amazement as they improved his ship's systems one by one. "Your quantum drives are incredible," an Imperial engineer said to Captain Kim. "They use half the power but move twice as fast. How did Earth discover this technology?" Kim smiled. "We had to think differently. Earth doesn't have the resources to build huge ships like yours. So we found better ways to use what we had." In another part of Luna Base, General Park met with Earth's Defense Council. Holograms showed the positions of Earth's ships across the solar system. "The Imperial crew is cooperating fully," Park reported. "Most of them are amazed by our technology. Some have even asked to stay and learn from us." Back in the meeting room, Yoon showed Han a series of images on a screen. They revealed Earth's true history, not the fake one they had shown to the galaxy. "While the Empire watched our old satellites and primitive rockets, we built all of this in secret," Yoon explained. "Underground cities on Mars, bases in the asteroid belt, ships that could hide in plain sight." Han shook his head slowly. "But why hide? Why pretend to be weak?" "Because we learned from history," Yoon said. "On Earth, when a more advanced civilization met a less advanced one, the results were usually terrible for the weaker side. So when we realized we weren't alone in the galaxy, we decided to hide our progress." In the ship's command center, Lee worked with Earth officers to send messages to the Imperial fleet. They needed to prevent any hasty attacks when the Empire learned what had happened. "Your ships will come looking for the Crown of Stars soon," Lee told Park. "They won't believe it was captured at first." "Let them come," Park replied calmly. "They'll find something very different from what they expect." Yoon continued his talk with Han. "Earth spent 50 years watching the Empire. We saw how you conquered other worlds, how you treated less advanced species. So we kept hiding, kept building, kept improving our technology. Until now," Han said quietly, "until we gave you no choice but to reveal yourselves." "Actually," Yoon smiled, "you did exactly what we wanted. We needed a way to show the Empire our true strength. Your attack gave us that chance." Throughout Luna Base and the captured Crown of Stars, Imperial crew members learned more about Earth's capabilities. They saw quantum computers that made Imperial systems look ancient. They watched Earth ships move in ways that seemed to break the laws of physics. "The Empire thought they were the masters of space," Lee said to Kim as they watched Earth engineers work. "But Earth, you were always 10 steps ahead of us." "Not ahead," Kim corrected him. "Just different. We took another path. And now we can show the Empire a better way to explore space, together." Han finally picked up his teacup. "So what happens now?" "Now," Yoon replied, "Earth steps onto the galactic stage, not as a primitive world to be conquered, but as a leader to be respected. The Empire tried to make us kneel. Instead, they helped us rise." The Great Hall of Luna Base buzzed with activity as Earth prepared its first official message to the Galactic Empire. The captured Crown of Stars floated visible through the huge windows, its golden hull now marked with Earth's symbols. General Park stood before a group of communication officers. "The Empire needs to understand exactly what happened here. Not just our victory, but why it happened." Captain Kim worked with Earth's best diplomats to craft the message. "We should show them both our strength and our wisdom," she suggested. "Let them see that Earth wants peace, but is ready for war." In a nearby room, Commander Lee helped Earth officers understand Imperial communication codes. "The Empire won't believe this message at first," he warned. "They've never lost a Crown-class warship before. Then we'll make them believe," Intelligence Officer Yoon said. He touched a control panel, and the room filled with holograms showing the battle. We recorded everything. The holograms played in perfect detail. The Crown's attack on Luna Base, Earth's defense fleet appearing from nowhere, and the ship's capture. Most importantly, they showed how Earth's technology had saved the Crown from its own failing reactor. Admiral Han watched from a comfortable holding room as Earth prepared its message. His face showed a mix of emotions as he saw his mighty ship being turned into a museum piece. "Your ship will teach future generations an important lesson," Park told him, "about the difference between true strength and just having bigger guns." In the engineering section, Earth technicians continued studying Imperial technology. They found ways to improve almost everything they examined, making the Crown's systems more efficient than ever before. The Empire builds everything too big, too wasteful, an Earth engineer explained to her Imperial counterpart. "Look here, we can get the same power from an engine half this size." The Imperial engineer nodded slowly. "We never thought to try. The Empire always said bigger was better." As the day went on, more Imperial crew members came forward with valuable information. They told Earth about the Empire's weaknesses, its secret bases, its battle plans. Many had seen how Earth treated its prisoners, with respect and kindness, and wanted to help. "The Empire rules through fear," Lee explained to Park. "But Earth, you show there's a better way." In the communication center, Kim finished preparing the message to the Empire. She showed it to Park for approval. "To the Galactic Empire, your greatest warship now rests in Earth's hands. Not destroyed, but captured and improved. This was not luck. This was not a trick. This was the result of 50 years of preparation. Earth is not the primitive world you thought we were. We are not defenseless. We are not weak. But neither are we your enemy, unless you choose to make us one. We offer you a choice. Continue your path of conquest and face Earth's full power, or join us in building a better galaxy. One based on cooperation, not domination. On wisdom, not just strength. The Crown of Stars will remain here as proof of our capabilities. Its crew has been treated well and will be returned to you, those who wish to return. Many have chosen to stay and learn from us. You have one standard month to send your response. Choose wisely." Park read the message and nodded. "Send it, and make sure they can see the Crown of Stars in the background transmission." As Earth's quantum transmitter sent the message across space at speeds the Empire had thought impossible, Han watched from his room. "They won't accept this easily," he said quietly. "We know," Yoon replied. "That's why we're ready for their response, whatever it might be." The message shot through space, carrying with it images of Earth's true power. The Empire's time of unchallenged dominance was over. A new force had revealed itself, one that had spent 50 years preparing for this moment. And in orbit around Earth's moon, the Crown of Stars, greatest warship in Imperial history, now stood as a symbol of humanity's emergence onto the galactic stage. 1 month after Earth's message, the solar system had changed dramatically. The Crown of Stars now served as a training center, where Earth engineers taught Imperial defectors about quantum technology. Its golden hull gleamed under the lunar light, a reminder of how quickly things could change. General Park stood in Luna Base's observation deck, watching Earth ships practice their maneuvers. Commander Lee stood beside him, wearing a new uniform that combined Imperial and Earth designs. "The Empire's response ships will arrive soon," Lee said, checking his datapad. 3 battle fleets, according to our spies." Park nodded calmly. "How many ships?" "Over 300, all Crown class or larger." Lee paused. "They still think size matters most." In the Crown's reformed engine room, Captain Kim worked with former Imperial engineers. They had rebuilt the reactor using Earth's quantum technology, making it safer and more powerful than ever before. "Your Empire's ships are coming to learn the same lesson we did," one Imperial engineer told his colleagues. "Earth doesn't need huge ships to be strong." Intelligence Officer Yoon entered the engine room with news. Our deep space sensors just picked up the Imperial fleet. They're trying to hide their approach. He smiled. They don't know our sensors can see them from 3 light years away. Admiral Han, now under house arrest in a comfortable Luna base apartment, watched the preparations through his window. Earth ships moved into defensive positions, but they didn't look worried. They had spent 50 years getting ready for this moment. Still think the Empire will win? Yoon asked him. Han shook his head slowly. They don't understand what they're facing. Just like I didn't. In orbit around Mars, Earth's hidden shipyards reveal themselves. Dozens of new ships emerge, each one carrying technology the Empire had never seen. They were smaller than Imperial ships, but far more advanced. All defense systems ready, Kim reported from her new command post. Quantum shields at full power. Gravity weapons charged. The Imperial battle fleets appeared at the edge of the solar system. Their huge ships filled space like metal mountains. The commander of the fleet sent a message. Surrender the crown of stars, and your punishment will be light. Earth's response was unexpected. Instead of words, they sent detailed scans of the Imperial fleet's weaknesses. Diagrams showing how Earth could shut down their engines with a single shot. Proof that humanity could see through their strongest cloaking devices. They're powering up weapons, Lee reported, watching the Imperial ships. Let them, Park said calmly. They need to understand. The Imperial fleet fired their strongest weapons, but the shots never reached their targets. Earth's quantum shields caught the energy attacks and turned them into power. The Imperial commanders watched in shock as their best weapons made Earth's defenses stronger. Now, Park ordered, show them what Earth can really do. A single Earth ship, no bigger than a Crown-class cargo bay, moved forward. It fired one precise quantum beam. Suddenly, every Imperial ship lost power. They floated helplessly in space, their mighty engines silent. What did you do to them? Han asked, amazed. We copied their reactor design flaw, Kim explained. The same one we fixed on the Crown. One shot triggered emergency shutdowns in all their ships. Through the quantum communication network, Earth sent a new message to the Imperial ships. This is your second lesson. We could destroy your ships. Instead, we choose to help you improve them. The Empire's way is not the only way. Over the next few hours, Earth rescue ships helped the stranded Imperial fleet. Engineering teams showed them how to restart their engines, now safer and better than before. Many Imperial officers, seeing Earth's true power and wisdom, began asking questions about quantum technology. The Empire will never be the same, Lee said, watching the Imperial ships accept Earth's help. That's the point, Park replied. The galaxy needs a new way. Earth can show them that path. As the sun rose over Luna Base, humanity's first steps into the wider galaxy had changed everything. Not through conquest or fear, but through wisdom, preparation, and the power of choosing a different way.